Hey guys, so tonight I'm going to be reacting to 3 Scary True Lost Phone / Laptop Horror Stories by Mr. Nightmare. I saw that he uploaded it earlier when I was at work and I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing tonight. But yeah, so the playoffs actually just started and I've been watching some games. They've been crazy already, like, bruh, this is actually... Okay, so... Do you want to not do that? Thanks. Here, I'm going to take you. Yeah. Wait, I got you. Ooh, don't follow me now. Anyway. So yeah, this video is 18 minutes long, so this is like one of his longer videos for sure. So let's get comfy. I got my cat right here. This is like a whole like episode of a show. Like, damn. Well, let's get into it. This is gonna be fun. Losing your phone or device is already a horror story.
A few months ago, I treated my girlfriend to a vacation in Paris. We stayed at some hotel called Hotel Atmospheres. My job allows me to work remotely from my laptop on my own hours, so at some points during our couple days there, I would sit in the lounge of the hotel by the Wi-Fi area to get my work done. My phone started to ring. It was my girlfriend calling me. As I picked up the phone, I went to the nearby room where the coffee was and poured myself a cup. My girlfriend was calling me from the room, talking about the things we should do that day.
Okay.
When I walked back to the lounge area where I left my laptop, I got a sickly feeling when I realized it wasn't there anymore. I went first thing to the lady at the front desk to ask her if she'd seen anyone leave the lounge area with a laptop. She apologized and said she hadn't seen anyone. I asked her to check the cameras, to which she responded with there not being any cameras in the lounge area, and that she was also not in control of the footage that the cameras caught. She would have to get in contact with her manager, who was not working that day.
Of course.
She offered I submit a lost or stolen property form. I was absolutely disgusted with the service, and planned on having a word with the manager the next day. I had no choice but to go back to our room and angrily vent to my girlfriend. She tried calming me down, saying there was nothing we could do about it, and that it was best we just go out and enjoy the vacation I was paying for.
That's it?
As angry as I was, I had to accept that she had a point.
In a
We
way.
both turned off notifications on our phones so we wouldn't be distracted, something we usually did on vacation.
Makes
Then we
sense.
went out and explored a great amount of the city, did a little bar hopping, then got back to our hotel late at night.
The Eiffel Tower's so nice.
It wasn't until we finally crashed into bed that I opened my phone to check for new emails and texts and such, since I couldn't do that on my laptop now. When I was going through my email, I realized every single email I'd received that day was opened. This included emails from work and a couple relatives.
Oh no.
I started to panic,
Yeah,
because I knew how much delicate information I had in not just my email account, but my whole computer, which was signed in when I left it.
Uh-oh.
I basically had all my personal information saved on that computer,
Oh god.
including home address, phone numbers, personal pictures, passwords, credit card info, bank account info. I was a fool for leaving it unattended to for even a minute.
Yeah, think.
I immediately changed all the passwords to my emails and other important accounts. That didn't matter for what was about to come, though.
What?
After opening my messages app to check my texts since I hadn't been all day,
Okay.
I noticed text from an unknown number.
Uh-oh.
It was a bunch of pictures that were saved on my computer. Bad, personal pictures that I wouldn't ever want anyone to see.
Like
Then
what?
there were pictures I didn't remember taking. Pictures of a hotel hallway and a hotel door. It was our hotel door. There was also a picture of me standing at the front desk talking to the lady about my missing laptop.
He has a stalker.
It was taken from behind the glass door at the entrance of the hotel. Under all the pictures was a text saying, I have all of your info, including your address and your current hotel room. This was sent using an untraceable phone number. Don't bother contacting the police. The rest of the message basically demanded I pay a certain amount of Bitcoin to a specific Bitcoin wallet address,
Oh,
or
he
else.
fucked up big time.
It literally said or else. I'm not even fabricating this. I didn't know what else to do besides show my girlfriend the messages, as well as the embarrassing pictures. She started to panic more than me, and she she honestly just made me even more tense.
That's scary.
I left the room to go to the bathroom to think.
That's petrifying.
She was asking for $1,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
But even if I paid that, I had no reassurance that this person wouldn't share those pictures or keep my laptop or do God knows whatever or else next.
So like you're just gonna spend money for nothing?
I decided I wouldn't pay the ransom. My girlfriend agreed with my decision when I went back to bed.
But now what's
Of course, I was not tired at all anymore. Neither was my girlfriend. We sat up, leaning on the headboard of the bed, talking, thinking, and worrying for a couple hours.
He's probably outside your boat.
Then there was a knock at the window of our hotel room. We
There you
both
go.
gasped. Well, my girlfriend more so let out a
You
short
have no
scream.
choice but to call the police. Like, you have to call the police.
I turned off the lamp so that whoever was out there couldn't see in. I also shut the shade completely.
Good.
I didn't bother trying to look out there to see who it was. I assured my girlfriend we were safe, though.
You're not.
She whispered we should call the cops or inform the front desk.
Yeah, you should.
I told her we would if the problem persisted.
Well, it's already
And I
bad.
told her to go to sleep.
What?
Meanwhile, I
Do I
stood in the
die?
middle of the room watching over her, while also looking back at the window. I got a text. I looked at my phone, and it said, "I'm looking into your room right now. I'm not playing games." Then there was another knock at the window.
Call the police now.
I decided to just grow a pair for a couple seconds and open the shade to see who was out there. I pulled the shade open. I couldn't see who it was, but there was someone standing on the other side of the glass looking in. My girlfriend screamed. I told her shh as I pulled it back shut.
Like, shh, it's
We
okay.
packed our things and went to the front desk, telling the lady about the whole situation and requesting another room on one of the upper level floors.
Or call the cops and get the hell out of there.
She said she would alert the authorities
Yeah,
and gave
damn
us a
right.
room card to another room on the 3rd floor. For the rest of the night, we slept close together. Well, I didn't sleep. I was awake all night waiting for a knock at the door.
True.
Morning came and the manager was in. So she took a look at the footage from the previous night. And of course, some guy with a baseball cap covering 90% of his face went into the lounge as soon as I left it to get coffee, then walked out with my laptop. There was only one camera that actually caught the man in the act. She said she would forward all video footage with that man over to the police.
Yes, damn right.
We were out of there. I blocked the number that was texting me. I had to accept defeat, but I didn't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, but
There was
he
nothing
still-
I could do about where those pictures would end up or some random person having my address.
Yeah, but now,
I canceled my credit cards and changed my passwords. There wasn't much else that creep could do. However, what really motivated me to share this story with the internet was the fact that 3 days ago, I got a letter in the mail without a return address. It was addressed to me, and it was a short, straight-to-the-point note saying, "I hope you haven't forgotten. I have all of your information still." It was a horrible reminder that someone out there with bad intentions has not only my address, but my pictures, my phone number, and my name. I've been sleeping with one eye open these past few nights. If anything happens, I will update.
that's... Even though nothing happened, that's still such a cliffhanger. That was a really good story. Damn.
There was a time a few months ago that my good friend Ashley lost her phone. I'm her best guy friend, so she hit me up on her sister's phone when she realized that whoever had her phone was reading her messages but not responding. I practically reprimanded her for not having a password on her phone.
You should always
I
have a
suggested
password on your
using Find My iPhone, but she didn't even have that enabled for whatever reason.
phone. See?
I met up with her and decided to text her number. I sent a text saying, "Please return my friend's lost phone." Within seconds, it said the person read my text, but they didn't respond.
They're not gonna answer.
So a minute later, I sent a more aggressive follow-up
They're
text.
not gonna answer.
I said, "We can see that you're reading our messages. If you don't respond, we will brick the phone, track it, and it will be useless to you. Please return it now." The person read it right away and said, "Good luck." This infuriated me. I tried to respond, but apparently the person turned off the phone. There wasn't anything we could do now. She had Find My iPhone off, so we couldn't even report it as lost. I tried to make her feel better and took her out for dinner. When we got back to her house, a light upstairs was on and the garage door was open. "Are your parents home?" I asked her. "Maybe," she said, "but they weren't supposed to be back from their trip until the next day."
It's not them.
We went in through the garage door, and she pressed the button to close it. Then we went from the den to the living room, and she called out for her parents. One of the doors upstairs shut. We could see and hear it. The way her house is arranged allows you to see some of the doors upstairs from the living room. The door wasn't shut forcefully, though. It was shut quietly and softly.
Probably so no one can hear it.
Ashley looked at me, and I could see fear in her expression. I told her wait there. I'd go upstairs and check.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
So I went slowly up the stairs, down the little walkway, got to the door, looked down at Ashley one more time, then opened it. The room was dark now. I looked for the light switch in the room, but couldn't find it. So I said to Ashley, "Where's the light switch?" Then she screamed, "Oh my God." She said that she had her address and the code to the garage saved on her phone. It took me a second to put together what she was implying, when just then, someone grabbed my arm from inside the room and tried pulling me in.
Oh my God.
I screamed and tugged away from the grip.
Punched them.
I started to slam the door over and over on the arm that was pulling at me, eventually getting them to let go.
Yeah.
I heard grunting on the other side. I must have done some damage.
Okay, get the hell out and call the police right now.
I told Ashley to run as I came down the stairs.
Call the police right now.
The front door was only a few feet away, so we got out safely. We got into my car and I called the cops right away.
Good.
We sat in front of the house in my car the whole time, making sure whether to know he left the house or not.
Yeah, but he can leave through the back, right?
The light upstairs turned on, and 5 seconds later, whoever it was walked to the window and just stood there for a while. Couldn't tell what he was looking at, nor could we see any facial features.
What do you want?
But I did snap at least 10 pictures to show the police when they were to arrive. Then, the guy just walked away from the window, and the light shut off. Minutes later, 2 cop cars with their lights on came speeding down the road and stopped in front of the house. I showed them the pictures before they entered the house, and we waited in my car. The cops were in there a long time. They did a seriously thorough investigation of the house.
And no one was
They
there.
came back out to assure us it was safe to go back in.
Also not.
We thought for sure they would be able to track the phone now that it was used as part of a crime, but to our surprise, they said there really wasn't anything they could do without Find My iPhone enabled, or the phone actually being on for that matter. All they said we could and should do was change the code for the garage lock. I had to figure out how to do that for her, but still after that, I let Ashley sleep in my house that night.
Yeah.
And when her parents got back the next day, she felt a lot safer.
Yeah.
She got a new phone the next day, and we never pursued finding her stolen phone any further.
Yeah, but doesn't they know where she lives now, though, right? So now she's kind of fucked either way.
March 8th, 2019, on a Friday night. Me and 5 of my college buddies had a little night out. Not anything crazy, we just got dinner at some nice restaurant, then we hit a dive bar in the same block. We got a few drinks, played darts, and within a couple hours we were out. It wasn't until we left the bar that I realized my pockets were feeling kind of light. I checked both of my pockets and realized I didn't have my phone. I told my friends to wait as I ran back inside to look for it. I checked the seats at the bar, at the area by the dartboard. I even asked the bartender. He hadn't seen it, though. A couple of my friends came in, and I asked one of them to call my number, but quickly realizing that was kind of pointless in a loud, crowded bar. I asked the bartender to please call my number if my phone were to turn up. Sadly, I knew that was wishful thinking. We traced back to the restaurant to check the table we sat at, and I asked the staff if they had any missing phones. None. So it was safe to assume my phone was taken by someone at this point. But I still remained hopeful that maybe the bar or restaurant would call me the next day. That night, when I got home, I started cleaning myself up, getting ready for bed. For some reason, it took me that long to remember I could just use that Find My iPhone feature. I would have to sign into iCloud on my computer to use it. But when I was all signed in and everything, that little map came up on the screen. I was confused when the phone was showing up as right above my house. For a second I felt excited, like maybe I had the phone on me the whole time. I checked the pockets of the jeans I was wearing, but it wasn't there.
Or someone is in the
I
house
had
with
no
you.
other pockets. And I knew 1000% I had my phone with me at some point in the restaurant. So how could it be at my house?
Because someone's in your house.
Maybe someone left it at my front door.
No, it was someone's
So I
in your
went
house.
outside and checked the stoop and the mailbox.
Someone's in your house.
It wasn't there either. Either way, it was insanely late and I was exhausted. As long as it said my phone was currently at my house, I figured I'd find it in the morning.
What?
And figure out what happened.
Stop.
So after coming back inside the house, I did one last loop around the house, turning off all the lights and going upstairs. I sleep with the door open because I live alone.
What? Wait, what?
At some point, before finally climbing into bed, I heard a rattle from downstairs. It sounded like the pots and pans rack being banged into. I tiptoed downstairs. I saw that there was a light on down there somewhere.
Of course.
The light was leaking ever so slightly into the living room. I got to the kitchen and no one was in there, but for half a second I could see the light from my sunroom on. It turned off just as soon as I noticed it.
Yep.
I walked through the kitchen to the glass door that led to the adjacent sunroom. I would have to walk inside of there to turn the light on, and there was no way I was about to do that. So I just went as close to the door as possible and looked inside. I came close to screaming out loud, and I could make out two figures standing in the darkness that was my sunroom.
Two people?
They were both standing nearly identically the same way, arms and legs kind of spaced out from their bodies to give an overall wider appearance to their stature. It seemed as though they had their backs to me, as I couldn't see their faces, only blackness, which I assumed was their hair. I ran to grab the kitchen phone to call 911. I reported a break-in, so the operator said there would be police arriving shortly. We would sneak up to the house, find the point of entry for the intruders, and apprehend them. The operator said the police would call me if they needed to, and asked me to hide in a closet and wait there until I heard the police downstairs.
No, but they can already
And she told me to hang up and stay as quiet as possible.
But didn't they already see him, though?
Waiting in that closet felt like it was taking centuries, mostly because of the tension of waiting in silence and motionlessness,
Oh, I know.
expecting and dreading hearing any kind of noise.
I know. It's terrifying.
And actually, I did.
Oh,
I
God.
heard loud clonking footsteps coming from downstairs.
Oh, my God.
They were coming up the stairs. They got louder and closer. Pretty soon they were near to the outside of the bedroom, but I never heard them enter the bedroom. I heard doors opening, doors to every room upstairs, until finally the door to the bedroom I was in opened. I balled up as little as possible in the corner of the closet, tucked under a blanket to hide myself. The closet door opened, and I felt my heart in my throat at this point. I did my best not to move, even though I felt my life flashing before my eyes. The door to the closet shut, and I heard footsteps leaving the room. Then I heard two pairs of footsteps go downstairs. I felt it was finally safe to move and breathe. After a few minutes of silence, the next sounds I heard were the voices of police officers yelling downstairs. I jumped out from the closet and rushed down to them. They entered through the sunroom, actually, apparently the same way the intruders did. There were a total of 4 police officers in my house. The 2 intruders seemed to be gone, which was no surprise, one of the officers said. Usually the intruders would be out of the house before the cops arrive. So one of them had a notepad in hand and was taking down notes for my description of the whole night. They even took down the specific details of my phone and reported it as a lost item to somehow help with the case. After that, the cops left, but assured me there would be a car patrolling the area all night.
Good.
The next day, I found my phone left on the kitchen counter. I figured they must have left it to avoid being tracked any further, because it was useless to them.
Okay.
My 2 friends joked around that the 2 intruders were simply trying to return my phone and that I should find them and thank them. Nothing has happened since, but it's hardly been a month, so I'm still kind of uneasy about sleeping in this house.
Oh my God, okay, that was a really good video, to be honest. Like, that was probably one of the best videos I've seen in a long time. Like, that was really, like, exciting, like, really, like, nerve-wracking. That was a really good video. That was a really good video. Where do I start? They were effing up a little bit, which, I mean, every oh my God, every horror story's like that, so you can't really be surprised. The first one I think that was the most scariest. Like the third one actually had me like my blood was kind of like going, and I was scared. I was like, Lord, like, especially like when you're like even just hearing it, like you're like thinking of the like you know how you're nervous yourself, right? And then you kind of like think, oh my God, how the hell am I safe here? Like, we're at home safe. Well, I think we are, or I think I am. And then you hear this, and then you're terrified, and then you're not even part of it. It's just like scary even hearing it. So damn. Like, I don't even know what to say. Damn. Like, damn. I'm glad they're okay. I hope the guy's laptop came up eventually. I hope he moved. I know he said he can't cancel his credit cards and stuff, which is good, obviously. To be honest, like, you should, like, I mean, obviously it's your device, right? Like, you're gonna have stuff on it. I for one have stuff on my phone too. See, like, secret things. Even I have, like, something locked though. Like, in my notes, if I have something that I need to keep locked, then I have that note locked. So my phone needs to be unlocked. Also, the note needs to be unlocked to see the note. So you know what I mean? That also kind of makes it a bit better. So yeah, and even like on my phone to like use the credit card if you wanted to, then you would need to put a pin to also use it. So you know what I mean? Like, you need. I think I'm pretty secure. I kind of want it to be a bit more secure. I have a story about when I was in high school. It's not really a story because like nothing really happened, but I remember I left my phone in the forum area, like, because like I vlogged at school like two years ago. You guys that have watched me for like over a year or two have seen my vlogs at school, and I'm pretty sure you know it's in the forum, like the big area. The forum's kind of a bunch of whatevers. So I left my phone there. I left the school to go. I think it was lunchtime. I left the school to go to somewhere. And then I was like, shit, where's my phone? And I was like, I was in the forum, right? And then, because you have to be on the second floor to, like, come in and out of the school. So I came back. I looked down, and sure enough, my phone's right there. I run downstairs and I grab it. It was not this phone. It was not this phone, this phone is a lot better. My phone before was garbage. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started. That phone was awful. Like, I literally remember when I was on my job interview, I had to, like, tell him one of my, I had to tell him one of my, like, I was gonna say sources. What's it called? The thing that you need, like, I was gonna say reflection. The thing that you need to, like, whatever. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Just the thing that you kind of need to, like, show, just to kind of, like, say, oh yeah, this guy's good. References or something like that. I think it's that word. I don't know. So my phone literally took, like, a minute or two to load the phone, or to load the app, load the phone number. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is so embarrassing. Now with this phone, I can actually open it. I can actually, you know what I mean? So I can actually do that now. But you guys probably don't care, because that was probably not even really a story. I just kind of, like, left it. Nothing really happened now. I'm trying to think if I had any experiences like that. I don't have a laptop. I have a phone. I haven't really lost anything like that. The only horror story I have is my phone and my iPad cracking. That's the only horror story I have when it comes to that. But yeah, anyways, really good video. Just be careful if you have your phone. Always keep it locked. Make sure it has a password, dear lord. Make sure your laptop is not left alone in a public place, otherwise it's gonna be gone. No shit. I mean, if it's at home and then you leave it, then obviously that's fine, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you just don't leave it open. Don't leave your laptop at all. Have it on you in your bag, especially in the hotel or something. Anywhere you're out in public, just keep it with you. Oh, I'm just gonna get a coffee. Bring it with you. I'm gonna go change my clothes. Bring it with you. Bring it with you. I don't care if you're gone for 5 seconds, because someone could be hiding, waiting for you to leave. And then bam, yep, it's gone. Bye. Never seen that on again. I think I have stories of me losing stuff, but I don't know what, like, I swear, I remember something that I lost, I think, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, anyway, this video is long enough. It's like 25 minutes almost, so I'm just going to end it here. Again, like, a really good video of Mr. Nightmare. Mr. Nightmare now has 4.2 million subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. Make sure you go leave a comment or something. And make sure you guys watch his videos.